Welcome back, friends. The Avengers, Captain America, Suicide Squad, Man of Steel, Batman. These movies and others have been based on comic books that have flooded theaters in recent years to big bucks. And here to talk comic shop with us, we have Rob Jefferson. Rob, we appreciate you stopping by. You're a Lexington guy, which is awesome.
Yes.
And you've published this great book, Behind the Cape. And it is the ultimate comic book hero explained. You also have a thriving YouTube channel, which is very cool. So I took a quick look through your book here, and I cannot wait to dive into it, because what I love is that you really track the history of all of this and how the business model, how the editors who come and go, how the era from the 50s, 60s, 70s, how all these things come into play to really take beloved characters like Superman, like Batman, on this journey that we are on as well, and it really kind of charts their course, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Well, with Superman, it's really interesting because he's such a mainstay.
Yes.
You'd have to travel to the most unexplored regions of the planet to find anybody who doesn't know who he is.
Yeah, this is apple pie Americana, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, Superman's he's from now until the time civilization comes crashing down, people will know who Superman is. But a lot of people don't know he was an accidental success. It was just trying to find content for Action Comics #1. The editor just stumbled upon Superman, threw him on the cover, bam, just took off in popularity. Took the world by storm.
And you detail that. You have a timeline in the back of the book, too, where folks can kind of follow through, and then you start to bring in the movies as they track along. And as we were just discussing before we came back here, I grew up in the 70s, of course. Christopher Reeve was my Superman. We tried to sort of reboot that same vibe, and it didn't quite work. I think, was it 2006?
Yeah.
And then we tried again, and now all of a sudden we're back in the game.
Well, see, that's kind of the kicker is, you know, with Superman, it all kind of, you know, goes back to the 50s. This guy, Mort Weisinger, took over, and that's when he became super popular. I mean, that's when you found Superman pulling dying planets out of pulling planets out of a dying solar system or something like that. Just wildly powerful Superman. But fans loved it because it's cosmic Superman. He's doing all kinds of crazy things. And then Weisinger retires something after like 10, 15 years of being the editor, and a guy named Julius Schwartz took over.
Okay.
And Julius Schwartz was kind of the guy who was instrumental in creating the Silver Age, second iteration of comic book superheroes, and he wanted to make Superman more grounded. And so there's probably this cover that I'm sure a lot of people have seen of a Superman comic where he's just kind of busting out of this chain.
Yes.
And that is Mort Weisinger's Julius Schwartz's first time on the comic.
Wow.
And fans didn't care for it too much.
Interesting. It's fascinating how all these factors come into play here, and you think nothing is accidental these days, you know, that everyone is like really calculating these things because you have to have the big box office, right? These films have to work. But there's still a little bit of, you know, spin the wheel and hope that things resonate with fans.
Exactly. You know, but, you know, with comic books, you know, and superheroes especially, they hold a special heart for us, you know, like with Superman. We don't look at Superman necessarily as the guy that's like us. We look at Superman as the guy to aspire to. You know, and that's always been his whole mantra. That's always been the whole thing of Superman is, you know, just this crazy, you know, cool concept.
Right.
And it's a hopeful idea. It is, you know, he inspires hope in people, whereas you have guys like Batman who are more grounded and more rooted.
Seeing the world much differently than Superman, yeah.
Exactly.
Wow. Well, we certainly need hope in this day and age, so I think Superman's going to be around for a while. And, of course, the grounded cynicism of Batman is going to be there, too. So nice to know that you've pulled all this together for us. I can see a college course being wrapped around this book, because it really is fascinating tracking the business model, what's going on, attitudes in the country and the world at the time, and how it all plays in to tracking our favorite superheroes. So, Rob, where can folks pick up the book, and how can they dial in to check out your YouTube events going on?
Well, the book's currently available at Barnes & Noble.
Okay.
And, of course, it's also available on Amazon because they have everything. So,
no, this is true.
Both those locations. Of course, the Barnes & Noble's here in town, so one have them. And on YouTube, it's just Comics Explained. So.
Very good. Well, as these movies continue to come out, we hope you'll come back and visit us and give us your professional take on how things are translating these days from comics to the silver screen. And we certainly have a big lineup coming in the next 5, 6 years, don't we? There's no stopping this train in sight. Not even Superman can stop it. So check it out, Behind the Cape. Highly recommended. Rob, we sure appreciate your insight. Thanks for putting this together. I'm looking forward to tearing into this when I get home. Back in just a minute, folks. Stick around.